Hi everybody and welcome to today's SEDA College Online live advanced class. Today we are going to do some really exciting things with you, but I just want to remind you of all of the awesome stuff we have at sedacollegeonline.com. We have all kinds of different courses that cover so many different subjects. So if you take the time to look at sedacollegeonline.com and check out all the offerings we have, you might see something you like and just decide to subscribe. So we're just letting you know about it. And also I want to let you know about our podcast on Spotify. It's called SEDA Talk. So check those things out when you get some time. I hope everybody's doing well. And today we've got some exciting stuff to help you with your writing still. This stuff also helps with any kind of public speaking that you're doing, presentation, even in a meeting. It's really a great idea to use these kinds of vocabulary words in all those settings. And what are we talking about? Boop-a-da-doo. Transition words, and this is part one, okay, because there's lots of different transition words used in different contexts and for different purposes. So I felt like it was really important to kind of break it into two lessons. So as we get started here, I want to remind everybody to have a pen and make sure you've got your notebook to write your notes in, because these words that I'm going to give you today and tomorrow are like gold. Okay, so many of us have been writing a report, a proposal in a business context, or maybe writing things in an academic context, or looking for words to give that presentation, and we just can't think of a word to connect one paragraph or thought to the next. Okay, so these transition words are all about that. Some people call them linking words because they make the connection. Okay, but they're really, I want you to think about if you're in gear 1 when you're driving and you need to go to 2, you have to press the clutch, right? The clutch allows you to shift gears. Well, pressing the clutch with your foot is like using a transition word. It allows you to move from one idea to the next, from one paragraph to the next smoothly. Okay, so that is doing the work for you, and it's really important to understand which words to use when. So let's get started. Okay, what are transition words? Just another little quick definition for you. You can see a college student here, much like yourself, studying and using lots of books and maybe writing a paper on their laptop. Definition of transition words. Sometimes called linking words, like I just said, transition words are used to start the first sentence of a new paragraph and signal to the reader the theme of what is to come. So when I say signal, they're like giving you a sign, giving you a message of what is coming next. So depending on the word, you're going to think, okay, something's going to be similar, or I'm making a generalization, or somebody's telling me the opposite thing. They're showing contrast. That's what these transition words are all about. Not only are they taking you to the next place, but they're kind of leading you so you know where to go. From 1, you know you press the clutch, you're going to 2. Okay? From 2, you know you're going to 3, etc., 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 okay? So your transition words help you drive and get to your destination, which is the end of the paper, right? Being done with the assignment or the work. Great. Okay. So there's different words for different functions or contexts, like I just said, and we will review them in the next slide. So types of transition words. If you said something and you want to say something that's similar to the last thing, you're going to use certain words. If you said something in the previous paragraph and you want to say something that's opposite or contrasting, you're going to use different words. Depending on the situation or the context, you're always going to need a certain category or a certain type of transition words, okay? It's going to be a different list. So some examples, are as follows. These are the examples or the categories or the types that I've broken the words down into. And today we will cover the words that are in aqua, this blue aqua color, and give some examples of each type. Tomorrow we will cover the words we have not covered yet today. Okay, so stay tuned. All right, types of transition words. We're going to start with words that are there for emphasis. Okay, then we're going words that are there for addition, then contrast, then time sequence or chronology, causation, illustration, comparison, summary, condition, concession, and generalization. So those are the categories that I've broken these transition words down into. So when you're taking your notes, you want to write the heading, the category, or the type of words that you're looking at. So maybe you can make your own kind of like master list at the end as a way of studying, rewriting everything, getting it deeper into your brain, and then whenever you go to write something, you've got one piece of paper. It's easier, it's simple. That's a great thing for you to do on your own for a kind of homework lesson that will benefit you greatly in the future, okay? All right, so I'm going to say all the words one more time to help you with pronunciation, okay? Let's do it again. Emphasis. Emphasis. Addition. Addition. Contrast. Contrast. Time sequence. Chronology. Time sequence. Chronology. Great. Causation. Causation. Illustration. It's like an us in there. Illustration. Great. Comparison. Comparison. Summary. Summary. Condition. Condition. Concession. Concession. Generalization. Generalization. Guys, awesome! You're doing great! I know these are longer words, and when I introduce each category or type of transition word, I try to explain what that means, okay? What you use it for, what the function is. Remember, structural functionalism. How are we going to structure the paper? What function is each paragraph going to perform, and therefore, where should it go? Okay, awesome. Very good. Emphasis. We're going to start with emphasis, and this means to give importance or stress. We can also say the verb to emphasize, okay? So he used hand gestures to emphasize his points. Or she, in my case, used hand gestures to emphasize her points. Great. The first one is undoubtedly. Undoubtedly. And that makes it negative, right? And doubt is like a negative thought or projection. So undoubtedly would be the opposite of the negative. You can't doubt. Indeed. Indeed. Again, that's an emphasis word. Add importance or stress. Especially. Especially. A lot of people get specially and especially confused. You use especially when you give an example. You use specially to say how something is done. So I specially created this PowerPoint presentation to teach you transition words. I specially created it. And I did it especially to show you transition words. Okay? I specially created it. I did it especially for you. Especially, you're kind of indicating one thing or example. Specially is how it's done, okay? Always think of specially as how. The one without the E. All right. Clearly. Clearly. The opposite of confusing, right, is clear. Importantly. Importantly. Great. Yeah, showing something is important. Without a doubt. Same way we'd use undoubtedly. Again, remember, this is the first word usually in the first sentence of a new paragraph. So you're kind of going on, you're making that transition from what was said before. In particular. In particular. So we don't really say particular. We say kind of per most of the time. Particular. It should be noted. Okay, if something is noted, you take it down, you note it down, and you try to remember it because it's important. It should be noted. One can see. Like, it's easy to see. One can see. Very formal. One notices. One notices. One notices when watching my live classes, I always use the same colors in my presentations. Okay, now it's time for you to try some of these words of emphasis. Guys, you can do it! Woo, woo, woo! Use these examples as a guide to write 3 of your own original sentences using 3 of the transition words to add emphasis from the last slide, okay? So I hope you took good notes. I will go back in a moment, give you those examples again. But I've got 3 examples here for you. Undoubtedly, if they had wanted to, they could have produced naturalistic clay animals with heads and legs, for example. So if they'd wanted to, they could have, but they didn't. And nobody can doubt that because they had the ability to do other things with clay. Clearly, understanding the root causes of the explosion would help scientists to avoid such disasters in future. Here, the word such is saying those types of disasters, okay, in the future. Great. Another one, without a doubt, they made the best decision they could at the time with the information at hand. Information at hand meaning the information they had in that moment in their hands, in their vicinity, in their knowledge, okay? Great. So those are some examples for you. I'm going to read through them one more time, and then I'll go back and show you the other words, and I'll give you the 3 minutes to create your own 3 original sentences. Undoubtedly, if they had wanted to, they could have produced naturalistic clay animals with heads and legs, for example. Clearly, understanding the root causes of the explosion would help scientists to avoid such disasters in future. Without a doubt, they made the best decision they could at the time with the information at hand. Okay, so let's go back to slide 4. And look at all these examples. I'm going to give you the 3 minutes so you can come up with your own 3 original sentences using 3 of these. Choose any 3 you want, okay? Really important that you practice this. What do I always say? Use it or lose it. Use it or lose it, right? You got to use these so you don't lose them from your memory. Okay, I'm going to put 3 minutes on the clock. Three minutes. Okay. Give you some music. You guys get started. You can use undoubtedly, indeed, especially, clearly, importantly, without a doubt, in particular, it should be noted, one can see, one notices. Here's your example sentences to help you. as always, I want to remind everybody what a great thing you are doing being here with us, studying English at SEDA College online live class, okay? No matter where you are, what your situation is, it's hard to motivate yourself to come and study, so you've already taken that step and you're here, you're doing the studying, you're having a great day, okay? Be super proud for the rest of the day. Something is still bothering me. Okay. How are we doing on time? 30 seconds. 20 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Alrighty, great. I'm going to check your sentences, guys, but you tried, and if you tried, guess what? That's enough. You're doing awesome. Let's move on. Okay, our next category is addition. So to add more information or points, all right? Sometimes you made a point and then you want to make another point. In addition, apart from this, furthermore, two, as well as that. So that is referring to what was said previously. So as well as that, we can see the next thing. Also, along with, besides, moreover, what is more, additionally, not only, but also. So not only what was said before in the previous paragraph, but also a new point, the same theme. Great. Awesome. Okay. So I'm going to say again and you repeat. In addition, apart from this, furthermore, two, as well as that, also, along with, besides, moreover, what is more, additionally, not only, but also. Great! Awesome, guys. You're doing so awesome. Okay. You know what you have to do? Your turn. Your turn to try. Use these examples as a guide and write 3 of your own. Okay? Actually, you can just write 1 of your own here because I think we're going a little bit slower than usual because I'm trying to give you a lot of pronunciation. So I've got 2 examples here, but you can just write 1. Choose any of them and write 1, and I'll give you 1 minute and 30 seconds. First, let's go through the examples. 2, offices and places of business are locations where people reside for most of their day, which makes them often a home away from home nowadays. So if you see that, that means the previous paragraph or sentences said something about offices and places of business and their importance in people's lives. And this next point is about how people spend most of their day there. So along the same theme about offices, we're using not only, but also, okay? So between the not only and but and also, you have to add some things in. So not only are offices places where people spend lots of time, but pronoun, verb, and then also, okay? But they are also places where people spend lots of energy. If I said, but also they're places where people spend lots of energy, I could, but to me, it doesn't sound as nice, but they are also sounds better to me. Okay, so you could say the other one, but I like this better. So I'm going to give you a minute and 30 seconds. We're going to go back to this slide, choose one, and write your own original sentence. You got this, guys. One minute, 30 seconds. I'm drinking cucumber water with mint to make me feel like I'm at a spa and feel healthy so I don't drink junk like soda. So notice when you pronounce these, moreover and furthermore, you don't really try to mush the words together. The original words that were separate that are now being put together are pronounced the same way. Furthermore, furthermore, moreover, moreover. Okay? You just say it faster. That's kind of nice. It's not too difficult. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Awesome, everybody. Awesome. Great. Okay. So, contrast. To add opposite or differing information. Okay? And a lot of times, like when you do an activity, you're asked to compare and contrast. Compare is similar, contrast is to show the difference, right? Unlike. Dissimilarly. Nevertheless. On the other hand, at the same time, nonetheless, despite or in spite of, in contrast to or by contrast, while, on the contrary, whereas, alternatively, conversely, even so, differing from, and however. Everybody's favorite however, they usually use that or learn that and then use it to death. So guys, I'm giving you a whole bunch of other ones that you can use instead of however. Woo! This is great news, right? You're going to have so many more options. It's so exciting. So many place and space to do activities. It's great, right? Cool. All right. You know it. It's your turn. But before we do that, I'm actually going to go back and we're going to practice pronunciation with these again, okay? So I say it, you repeat. Unlike. Awesome. Dissimilarly. Dissimilarly. Nevertheless. Exactly as they are independently. Nevertheless. Good. On the other hand, at the same time, nonetheless, despite or in spite of, in contrast to, by contrast, while, great, on the contrary, whereas, alternatively, conversely, even so, differing from, so differing from, you're going to say the last thing that was said, then introduce the new thing that's different. However, great, okay. So, conversely, in places where prosperity has not risen, lack of these ingredients plays a significant role. Unlike soccer or football, golf is a sport most often played as an individual with less of a team effort. Differing from its neighbors, Malta is a Mediterranean country which has English as one of its mother tongues, so a native language. All right, great. So there are your examples. Choose one. Again, we can choose one. I'll give you a minute and 30 seconds. Go. You got this, my friends. You can do it. You can do it, my friends. Yes, you got this. Pretty soon I'm going to put on Mitzi's favorite, Bach. Or Bach. Not really sure. There's a lot of string instruments in Bach. "20 seconds. You got this, guys. You're doing great. Just being here, you're doing great. Seriously. Okay. I will check those for you, and let's move on. Time sequence. So you know when you're writing in a paper and you're making points one after the other, or you have to tell how something happened, the order of events in which things happen. This is really important that you use the right time sequence or chronology type transition words to give chronological order for events. That's the purpose of these guys. So we have first or firstly. Great. Repeat after me. Second or secondly. Third or thirdly. And remember, the ones with ly are adverbs. Next, after, then. Yeah, we have a lot here. That's why the words are getting smaller. Look a little closer. Okay. Eventually, immediately, at last, following, previously, first and foremost. You use that one when you really want to say this is the only point that I can start with first because it's like the most important. First and foremost. Subsequently. So next. It's like saying next or after that. Very formally. Subsequently. Great, guys. Lastly, in the end, initially, meanwhile, currently, during, present, at present, presently, presently. Awesome, guys. Great. Remember to be kind to yourself, too. If the pronunciation is hard for you, that's okay. You can rewatch this video at another time and really repeat until you feel comfortable. The other thing that's important to do is to watch my facial expressions. I'm really exaggerating and emphasizing the different facial expressions I make when I pronounce these words to help you. And you can look at yourself in the mirror and look at me on your phone or on your computer and see if you look similar. Make the same facial expressions to help form the same sounds for the words. Remember, as long as you're trying, you are doing fantastic, because that's more than a lot of other people. Good job. Okay, it's your turn. Take one and make your own original sentence. You don't need to do 3. You can just do 1 if you want. It's up to you, okay? Do what you can, and that is enough. Here's our examples. Currently, New York City is still feeling the brunt of the COVID-19 crisis in the United States. The brunt, feeling the brunt. It's like feeling the strongest pressure, feeling the most, okay? Subsequently, the company decided to introduce new rules regarding break times to see if this would help with the staff tardiness problems. Tardiness is when people are late, okay? So in the previous paragraph, you would imagine that somebody is just kind of describing how people that work for this company, the staff, are constantly late. Maybe they're demotivated, whatever. But maybe the company introduces new breaks, new rules for break times to make sure everybody gets a proper break, to try to encourage a good feeling with the staff. So they're not late for things all the time, so they feel they get enough time to have downtime and relax before they go back to work, okay? Subsequently, next, the company decided to, or after that, the company decided to. Great, so I'll give you a minute and 30 seconds. You guys got this. You got it. We've got one more group after this, and then we're going to hit pause. We're going to stop until tomorrow. I wish I could play the instrument. Twenty seconds. Ten seconds. 3, 2, 1. Great, everyone. Wonderful. When you're done with each lesson, you can see all your notes and all the examples and activities you've done, the different sentences you've created yourself, guys. You really should feel proud of that, okay? So make sure you're taking everything down in your notebook. Okay, causation. This is where we're going to stop today. This is our last group of transition words. Causation, to show cause and effect. This happened, therefore this happened, okay? As a result, as a consequence of eating too much pizza, Mary got sick. Consequently, for this reason, hence, due to, thus, therefore, and I used that to try to describe this, since. Great, okay. So I'm going to say them one more time so you can repeat. As a result. Great. As a consequence of. Consequently. For that reason. For this reason. Hence. Due to. Thus. Therefore. Since. Remember, if you have trouble with the TH sounds, look at the position of my mouth. Thus. My tongue is between my teeth. Thus. Therefore. Same position, same sound. Awesome. Okay, one more original sentence from you guys, and I've got 2 examples for you. As a result of citizens taking precautions, following government guidelines, and practicing social distancing, Ireland has started to flatten the curve in terms of the number of COVID-19 cases. Hence, studying using methods that encourage the enjoyment of learning, incorporating relevant and interesting activities, leads to more information retention over time. Okay, so as a result of, hence, we could say therefore here. We could say hence here. We could say as a result of here. We can interchange them because the same purpose is there. The same function is there for the words. It's causation. Great. Okay, so guys, 1 minute, 30 seconds. This is the final push, the final activity, the final example you need to create on your own. You can do this, guys. We're this close. You've been doing awesome. You're still here with us. You should be super, super proud. It's like doing your workout, the last little bit of your workout. You can do this. 1 minute 30 is on the clock. Some good energy for you. You're so close. You're doing great. Two, 1. That's it. Okay. So, guys, as usual, I want to thank you so much for being with us here at this SEDA College live class. And I want to remind you of all the great stuff we have at sedacollegeonline.com and our great podcast on Spotify, the SEDA Talk podcast. And thank you so much for being here and joining us today. You're doing an awesome job. You are winning at life. I'm so proud of you. We will finish the other half of the transition words tomorrow. Great work. I'm Teacher Lydia. Peace out.